What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Always gotta make sure my audio is going. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Laura. Yeah, Laura, everything okay? Oh, my stream here is lagging so much. Okay, but you can hear me. That's all that matters. Okay. Hey, everyone. Hey, Freddie. Hope you are all doing well. It has been an interesting day. If you guys didn't know, I was on Albert's live stream earlier today. And now I'm here. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. We got a lot to talk about, guys. I have so many notes. So many notes today. And we're going to try to get through it in a shorter amount of time. It's been a weird evening for me. Found out that a local musician here that was well loved and well respected passed away, I think this morning. So just found out maybe a couple hours ago. So I'm a little bit sad, but, you know, we're just going to keep on keeping on for him. He managed one of my favorite dive bars here called The Buck, which I go to almost every concert that happens there, I swear to God. And the staff there, including Ben, Sir was his name. Amazing people there. So it's quite a loss for Edmonton's music community. So I'm a little bit sad, but it's okay. He just wants us to keep going, so. Hey, Nathan. And just live streaming for y'all, that's all. But yeah, once again, earlier this afternoon, I was on Albert's live stream, Albert Bostic, if you guys didn't know. Another GH, well, really soaps YouTuber, reviews soaps way more than I do. I just, I just do GH. He does them all, it seems. Hey, Angel. Welcome, everybody. Shout out the new subscribers that joined on since Albert's live stream. Welcome. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to General Hospital MV, my GH after show. You were surprised by the new Ethan? I think all of us were. I think we all expected Nathan Parsons to come back, but he didn't. He didn't. Hey, Sandy. That was a surprise to see on Albert's stream. Yeah, hey, I hinted at it on Wednesday. I was like, hey, guys, I might be on 2 live streams on Sunday. So that's what it meant. Yeah, I had a lot of fun on there. That was the first time me and Albert ever talked really, face to face on audio. So it was a cool experience. So shout out Albert Bostic, who, made me feel very welcomed. And honestly, I was so stoked that he knew so much more about my videos than I thought he did. He was talking about some old ass videos that I did, and I was like, wow. So it's nice to know that we all kind of watch each other and that we have for a while, which is cool. Hey, Aaron, you said Cody looks so good in a suit. Yes, he does. Oh, man. But yeah, glad to see you guys all here. Welcome to the stream. We have a lot to talk about today in a short amount of time. So yeah, let's get into the week that was GH, because boy was it a doozy. It had everything from legendary characters returning to the canvas to recasted characters returning to the canvas, auctions for assassination privileges, new flourishing romances, hilarious antics to hide real life pregnancies, and not one but two new health related storylines, with one that will surely only be discussed 3 times in the next 8 months, I'm sure. It was good to see you guys together. Yeah, I really enjoy doing collaborations. I should do more on my channel. Actually, after the live stream, me and Albert were talking about doing some. I just gotta put them together. Albert's down, for the record, so expect that when we can organize it. Likely, we'll probably do it on a Wednesday instead of a Sunday. But we'll go with the flow. Either way, you guys will be the first to know when we set things up. Angel, you said, oh, I am right. Sophia is really pregnant. Yeah. She's due next month, you guys. Isn't that crazy? Finally, you and Albert talked. Listen, he's actually in the chat a lot, okay? Like, he's been in the chat for quite some time. But yeah, we've never actually, like, been on a live stream together. So far, I've been on James Law Jr.'s. And Albert's now, so I'm hoping to do like a lot of collabs on here. Do I consider watching Days? I'm not going to do it, Kaiwan. I'm sorry. It is not in my cards to take on another soap. I am strictly GH on here. I do not have the brain capacity or the time management skills to do more than one. That's why I, tip my hat to all the YouTubers that do multiple soaps. I could not do it. Angel, you said, I knew I saw a baby bump when she was interrogating Heather Weber. Oh, once you in DC. I'd love to do a collab with DC too. Honestly, any of the YouTubers. I think, yeah, I want to do, you know what I'm actually surprised about? I'm surprised no one's done one with Sprina, to my knowledge. I don't think anyone's collabed with Sprina, but I want to collab with Sprina so bad. I am serious, Kaiwan. I get like 1 day off a week. Y'all are lucky I even live stream Wednesdays because I work all day and then I live stream. Oh man. But yeah, lots to talk about today, guys. Freddie, you said Nina gonna crash at her daughter's wedding. Well, that's probably what's gonna make Willow faint again. Probably. As you know, Sabrina don't be having a Patreon, so they don't be knowing about it. I don't know. Either way, honestly, I'd like I said, I love the YouTube community of soap opera reviewers, and if I can like do live streams with literally all of them, I'm down to do live streams with every one of them. It's just a matter of setting it up and getting the timing right. So hopefully, we'll be able to do a lot. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's kick things off somewhere off the coast of Venezuela, where Felicia is looking for her friend that could possibly be of help. Sadly, it wasn't Frisco, but it's okay because it was Holly Sutton who has been making progress on finding her son Ethan. In fact, so much so that she actually managed to find him. He looks a little different, which we discussed earlier this week, or on Wednesday. And like I said, we haven't seen enough of his acting skills for me to really judge him yet. Some people have a problem with his blonde hair. I get it, but I don't. So, it is what it is. Hey, Jacarius. I've been good. I'm a little sad today just because a really important guy in our local music community here passed away. So it's a bit somber, but I'm still here. So here we go. But yeah, Felicia and Holly find themselves at this high-end auction where apparently it's okay to bid on someone so you can assassinate them, which is so dumb. Holly, not really having much of a game plan, decides to just start bidding and see what happens, while a mystery woman bids from somewhere else. I'm a little confused about this auction, honestly, because it seemed like Holly and Felicia were the only ones in the room, and then for some reason Tracy, well, just so you know, the mystery woman is Tracy. The mystery woman is not that far, clearly, because she comes in later, but she's in another room, so I don't understand how this auction worked. But anyway, at first Holly won the auction, but since she couldn't cough up the money, the runner-up, aka the mystery woman, aka Ms. Tracy Quartermain, Tracy Quartermain Spencer, I guess, was mystery woman that won. Felicia opened her big mouth and let it slip that they all know each other, but thankfully Ethan managed to untie his hands and knock out one of the guards, as did Felicia and Holly, and the gang of four make a break for it. Now, I did notice that one of the guards actually slipped out before they made a run for it. Whether or not it'll have any bearing on what happens this week, I don't know. We'll see. Sorry about your friend. Can be so sad. You know, it's interesting because I didn't really know him personally, but because I go to the bar that he managed a lot, I've always seen him around, and he's always kind to everyone. And, you know, he was a well-respected musician here for many years. So, you know, while I didn't know him, I know of him, and I know his spirit and his kindness with the staff and the guests of the bar, and, you know, any of his fans and music. You know, it's just everyone that I know kind of knows him. So it's like, it's really kind of affecting the community here. Sad days. Funny enough, I was supposed to go to the Buck yesterday, and I was just too tired, and I don't know if he was there last night, but I kind of wish that I went regardless. Jakarius, you said, I'm planning on doing a short GH review. Very nice. And Nathan, you said, I'm going to give the new Ethan a chance, like I said before. Yeah, there's no reason for us not to. And I also don't think that he's going to be around for very long. You know what I mean? Like, there's not much reason for Ethan to stick around town in Port Charles, if he even flies there to begin with, because maybe that was it for Ethan. Maybe he's just been rescued and he's going to hide out somewhere. But yeah, let's move on. Meanwhile, on the Haunted Star, which I'm assuming is also somewhere near the coast of Venezuela, things go from already pretty bad to worse. All because Trina couldn't listen and had to jack one of the walkie-talkies while she managed to make contact with Port Charles last week. This week, shortly after sabotaging the engine of the ship, she falls into Victor's trap and gets caught. And naturally, Victor decides to use Trina as a way to control Spencer. Spencer was standing his ground up until Victor decided to try to throw Trina overboard, and then he agreed to help Victor. But when Victor realized he was just trying to save Trina with no intention of standing by his side, he decides he's going to throw them both overboard, and then Obrecht, she comes in with the clutch, saying that she wants, or that she can use them as test subjects for the vaccine against the pathogen Victor plans on unleashing into the world, to essentially cut the population in half so that we don't run out of natural resources and such. I knew that the storyline would be ridiculous. I went in with this thinking that it would be, and I was ready for it. But it feels a little close to reality, honestly. Like, from what we just experienced these last 3 years. And honestly, I was also kind of hoping that it had to do with the weather machine, because this plan, it doesn't explain the weird weather situation that happened last year. Sorry guys, my mouth is really dry. Or my throat is really dry. Allergy season be kicking in. Freddie, you said, oh, now Ned wants to team up with Michael and Drew to get these stocks away from Valentine. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, Freddie, for sure. It's just annoying. But I have something to say about that later. Maybe they can put it with the other girl, Gladys. They can put Gladys with... What? Gladys and Ethan? I think you gotta write something in reality. Yeah, but I think because, I just expected for GH to go all in with, the Ice Princess and tie it to the weather machine. So in that sense, I'm like, this is a weird angle to take. You know what I mean? You're over the weird weather machine. Yeah, but it's just that, like, it's just that there's one part of the story that's getting dropped. That's what makes me mad about it, Kaiwan. Angel, you said we don't see Ethan enough for that recast to matter. That's true. Who knows, the next time we see Ethan, it's Nathan again. It could be. Apparently he turned down the role this time around, but who's to say that he doesn't come back in the future? But we know that for this arc, it's not going to be him. Anyway, though, even through all the crazy drama, Spencer and Trina still almost had sex while being locked up in a room together. Honestly, I kind of hope that they wait till this shit's over to do it, because yikes. Like, I mean, they have to wait anyway, because now the boat had just docked. So they're going to whatever bunker the Cassadines have in Venezuela. And I'd rather them go back to Port Charles and get away from this traumatic experience before, you know, Spencer taking Trina's virginity. You know what I mean? Angel, you said, I think that the heat wave in New York was just regular weather. We go through the same thing in Kansas City. Welcome to the Midwest, young and restless. But it's just like they emphasized it so much. Like there was not really a reason to show it, you know? Like I don't think that they did it with the with New York weather like being in their mind. You know what I mean? They had a reason for it, in my opinion. All right, now back in Port Charles, the rest of the cast that are involved with this Ice Princess storyline are doing what they can, which honestly isn't much. Curtis is getting anxious about Trina, and he's tired of waiting around. And he suddenly remembers Drew's past with the Cassadine or the Cassadine family, and approaches him saying, "Try to remember," which obviously he can't. Which I guess means he really doesn't have most of his memories back at all, since they don't never explain it really. Funny enough, though, he remembered that Kim kept some of his former belongings, where he actually found a map in a book that happens to be circled near Venezuela and has ties to the Project Demeter, which Victor was looking for initially. My first thought was, when they were trying to figure things out about Project Demeter months ago, how come this storage room of Kim's never came across Drew's mind? You know what I mean? Like, why is it that now he finally remembers? But yeah, it's so silly, but at least it points the crew in the right direction of the ship. New York is really, really hot for like a year and a half, for like 3 months out of the year, out of the summer, and then all of a sudden in the middle of winter is cold. Yes, Jason's memories, but Jason's memory... because Drew is an afterthought. True. Yeah, we were actually talking... Well, you were there, Angel, I think. But we were talking about that on Albert's live stream. We were like, there's no... like, it seems like they brought Drew back with not much of a game plan. It's I don't know. It's disappointing. When Nina said to Carly, "I own my mistakes," I literally shut on my TV screen. We're going to talk about that too. Honestly, man, it's ridiculous. But let's first, I want to talk about Robert and Diane, because Robert's attention is being directed towards Diane at the moment. He invited her out for dinner so that he could tell her the whole unsorted story about what's been going on with the Cassadines, but his car breaks down when they were heading to dinner, leaving them somewhat stranded for a bit. Robert tries to fix his car and gets Diane to hold something under the cover, and it ends up squirting her with oil, which is a funny scene. So he gives her a baseball journey that I guess he happens to just carry around everywhere, and Robert was so enamored with how she looked in it that he pulled her into a kiss. So first Robert and Diane kiss. What do we think? I gotta say the timing is certainly interesting, especially knowing that Holly is on her way back to Port Charles. Robert and Holly are such an untouchable, entity because they were a super couple back in the 80s. But with that said, knowing that Holly can only be here for a short time, they can't really put them together, you know? So, and like the only time that they might, and I think that it will be the case someday, is if Robert is leaving the show as well. And I don't want him to leave yet. So my stance on the potential coupling of Diane and Robert is that I am down to see it. I'm a fan until Tristan Rogers is ready to retire. And then he can reunite with Holly and they can ride off into the sunset. Because we know Luke and Laura ain't going to ride off to the sunset if the show ends. So we might as well have some sunset moments for our other super couples. All right. What are y'all saying? Oh wait, why do we think Trina's a virgin? Trina said so. Trina said so in the episode. Oh, you're doing self-care? Good for you, Laura. Robert and Diane, he was technically on the show back in the 80s with a different character. I think Carolyn Hennessy was also on in the 80s as a different character. Unless that's what you... is that what you meant? Oh, Freddie, you liked the kiss between Robert and Diane? I thought it was cute, too. Aaron, you said you like Robert and Diane. He should be happy. I agree. Robert needs some loving in his life. He's been painfully single for years now, guys. Laura, you like Robert and Diane. Angel, you said, I don't understand why Robert is so uptight about working for Sunny. I mean, it's interesting because did they not work together to rescue Dante? Isn't that, like, didn't they work together? Oh, man. That was just like when Dante first returned, when Dante first returned, they worked together to rescue the guy. So obviously they can put their differences aside, but I mean, I guess in some ways it would be in character for Robert to take issues with the mob, but you know, he just has to say something. But I think Diane and him had a good conversation about the kind of people that they like to work with and that they tend to color outside the lines, and what she did is not really different to what Robert would do if he had those connections, I think. Edmund, you said, I love the utilizing the vedettes. Yeah, I do too. I love that they're front and center right now. It really is because of the 60th anniversary, just like the 50th, but I will ride this wave for as long as they will put them front and center. Sandy, you love Robert and Diane as well. Freddie said, I feel like Robert and Diane romance will get cut short because of Holly's return. Yeah, but Holly's not going to be on for long. So I think she might, and I don't know, because it's going to be controversial one way or the other. I think that Holly's going to observe how Robert is around Diane and make note of it, and probably, you know, I think she's probably going to push them together. Because, you know, Holly ain't going to stick around. She'll give her blessing for now. Edmund, you said Robert wants to make sure the lines aren't blurred with Sunny. Fair. Nathan, you said, I don't mind Robert and Diane. Hopefully they get more story together. I'm just glad that we're seeing Carolyn Hennessy more often now. Because I adore her. I've always loved her character. And, you know, the last 10 years, she hasn't really done a whole lot. So I'm glad she's back and doing things. And sharing and having new screen partners. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved seeing her interact with Sunny and Jason and her usual gang. But, you know, it's nice to have her working with other people, too. It adds a new dynamic for the character as well. And it's been, you know, too long since Diane had a romance. Robert and Diane do have good chemistry. They really do. They work well with each other. All right. Let's check in with talking about Esme for a second. She is still distraught over missing her baby. Nothing new. Like, not much really to say. She doesn't want to be at Laura's apartment because Ace won't be there. She re-met Curtis this week, and when Laura was being comforting towards her, even he was giving her the side eye. Like, Laura is too damn nice for her own good, you guys. Like, I think and to be honest, I still think that Esme doesn't have her memories back. But when she does, if she does, I think she will at some point. Laura's going to be the most unreceptive to it. Like, she's not going to realize it. And I think Esme's going to count on that and use that to her advantage. And it's going to make Laura look like an idiot, which sucks. I don't think Holly wants Robert. I think she does. I just think, you know, their timing, they never get it right. I love Diane's anecdote about Spinelli as the first time she worked for Sonny. Yeah, but I don't think that... I think that story is made up. You know? Because, like... I don't know. Jason... I feel like Spinelli was more of a guy that worked for Jason. And, like, she came around in 2007, and Spinelli wasn't really officially on board with Jason at that point until much later in the year. I do remember Diane. I think Diane's first scenes were with Sonny, and Sonny was at the PCPD for something. I can't remember why, but it's a false story. But it, like, that's me knowing the history. But had I not kind of recalled that, I'd believe it. Right down to Spinelli calling her a mob lawyer. And I love that Robert picked up on the fact that she was talking about Spinelli just by the way that he talks. Laura's being too nice. Laura, you said, I think when Esme's memories come back, the inroads that Laura made with will stick and matter to her. Well, yeah, well, maybe. And, you know, Laura did discuss that with Curtis, because she talked about people's memories, and that's how he kind of got wind of the idea of going to Drew for help. But yeah, like, even if she does regain her memories back, she could potentially change, and I guess time will tell. We'll see. She's not going to forget the kindness of other people, but she's also, I don't know. It's hard to say what will happen if she gets her memories back. We'll see. Dion, you'll be seeing a short review from me. Sounds good. Sandy, you said Esme is playing Laura. She has Laura wrapped around her fingers. I don't know if she's playing her yet, but she will play her. I would watch myself being around Esme, especially her coming from both crazy parents. Sandy, why isn't Spinelli helping find Victor? Good question. We don't know where Spinelli is at the moment. Alright, guys, but let's switch things up and talk about some of the other storylines happening away from the Cassadine craziness. As you guys know, Michael and Willow decided to bump up their wedding day to tomorrow, for obvious reasons, but Willow takes it upon herself to tell Michael that she thinks that he should invite Sonny, because regardless of what he thinks of him, he is his sibling's father too. And it would just be a shadow or another shadow hanging over a day that she wants to be wonderful, because the younger kids would wonder why Sonny isn't there. She knows Michael will do the right thing, but also she wants to reiterate she only wants Sonny there, not Nina. So Michael tracks down Sonny and invites him, while making sure he reiterated that Nina can't be there. Sonny reluctantly agrees, really because Nina was like, you can be there for the both of us. But y'all know if she didn't say that, Sonny would have declined. You know that for sure, right? My thing is, where the hell is Marcus Taggart in the storyline? Damn right! The fact that Taggart hasn't been seen is truly ridiculous. Or even mentioned as, like, pulling his resources and being off-screen somewhere, doing all he can. You know what I mean? At least mention it, for God's sakes. Laura, you said, we forget that Esme is still hormonal from the baby. While those hormones made her memory might come back, but she's still going to be bonded to Ace and a little wobbly about her precarious position. The longest 2 weeks ever. Lots of people are mad about stupid writers and low ratings. The show is still no. I don't know. I find a lot of people are also enjoying the show, though. It just depends where you look. Kaiwani said, I want to make the right thing, but she won't. Oh, you want Esme to do the right thing, but she won't go do the right thing. What the hell is wrong? You know Nina will crash the wedding. Oh, yeah. We won't talk about that in a second here. Lisa will come back in time for the wedding and bring Nina with her. I mean, she don't have much time. The wedding is technically already on the day, right? And Lisa is still out in the middle of nowhere on this ship. I know people who are terminal who are faring worse than Willow. I have stuff to say about that too, kind of down the line a little bit. But for now, let's talk about the rest of this Michael and Willow stuff. Because Carly had also found out that the wedding was being moved up to tomorrow and pays Ava a visit to tell her that Willow wants Avery in the wedding. And Ava agrees. Of course, she can't help but ask about Nina and to ask Carly if she could put her differences with Nina aside so it can truly be a family affair. And Carly is Carly about it. She says it's up to Willow. It's not up to her. Makes her excuses. And then throws Trina in her face in a way that didn't make much sense to me. Like, she basically said, you just want to fix, or you're mad that you can't fix Trina. And it made no sense to me. Because, like, what's to fix about Trina? But basically it was Carly's way of mentioning that Trina went on board of the Honda Star and is kidnapped with the rest of them. Which freaks Ava out, and Ava goes to check on Portia and asks Carly to watch Avery. For a hot minute, though, I think Carly actually considered being the bigger person and going to encourage Nina to go, or to at least encourage Willow to invite Nina. But then Nina shows up looking for Ava, obviously, and things blow up between Nina and Carly. Essentially, it was a pissing match of them comparing their mess-ups and ignoring all of the things that they wanted and frankly needed to hear about themselves. Things that they wanted to hear the least about themselves anyway. And by the end of the episode, Nina was thinking about sicking the police on her for insider trading. And you know damn well she's going to have Carly get arrested at this wedding for maximum damage. Daughter who she's seeking redemption from, be damned. See, this is what I don't get. They're forcing us to sit through Sunny and Nina and see them as a viable couple, right? Because Maurice was bored with Laura or whatever and wants to do something new. And they could be making leeways and having the character of Nina grow or at least be a bit more tolerable. But they always have Nina pull a childish move like this that inevitably will ruin her character more. So I'm just so confused with the writing, like what they're doing. Like, I don't know what they want us to, or how they want the audience to feel about Nina. Because on one end, it seems like they want us to like her, and then on the other end, they're doing everything they can to make us think the worst of her. And let's face it, it'll make her look worse in the eyes of Willow as well, more so than she already does when this happens, because you know damn well it's going to happen. Alright, so I'm going to catch up with what you guys are saying. Willow got a lot of energy for someone who has 2 weeks tops. Don't really care about Willow dying. The storyline is dragging on too much. I agree. Sandy, you said Willow should have never given needy Nina an inch because she will take a mile. She's planning a wedding when most couldn't even feed themselves at this point in terms of what Angel said. Yeah. The storyline is so unrealistic, you guys. It makes me mad. Nina doesn't know how to look in the mirror and examine her actions. Carly told no lies about Nina this week. Yeah, but Nina didn't really tell lies about Carly either, though. Not that I'm taking a side, but, like, they're both messed up individuals, and they both can't own their crap. Oh my god, the talk between Ava and Carly about Morgan and Ava's weirdness friendship with Nina was amazing. It's interesting. It's good to know where Carly stands with Ava, because it's been a bit back and forth. Certainly when Sunny was gone, they made some leeways in, like, the respect that they have for each other. But Ava does point out, they've put their differences aside for the sake of family, and Carly could do the same. And like I said, Carly was definitely considering it, I think. It seemed like she was considering it. And then, of course, Nina hurricaned in to Windermere and ruined that. Ay. I do like that we kind of got some insight as to how Ava sees Nina too, because she's not forgetting what Nina did, but she also said, I don't see the woman who is very disturbed, or as disturbed as she was back then. If Nina has Carly arrested, she can say goodbye to Willow and hopefully Sunny. Yeah, she could. Freddie said Willow has every right to not like her new discovered birth mother. Yeah, I agree. I just can see where like people want them to like salvage a relationship if this is going to be the last like couple days of Willow to live, which we know it won't be, but let's say it was. They don't want her to going to her death with like that sort of anger towards who her mother is. Angel, you said why Willow doesn't like Nina is Nina's fault because she's treated Willow bad. Yeah, like I agree. Like Willow does not have to like Nina, but I think she can tell that Nina has been trying to be as respectful and trying to make it up to her. I think that she can tell that Nina feels bad, but I do have to agree that Carly was right. Like the way that she treated Willow is why Willow wants nothing to do with her, and it didn't magic away just because she found out that she was the birth mother. And I think that Nina really does see Willow as like almost like a prized possession instead of her own person. So in ways, Nina is naive about that. But I think at the very least, Willow can kind of see that Nina is trying to be as respectful as she can. But again, like y'all said, and like I think too, if she calls the police on Carly and she gets arrested at the wedding, that's it for Willow and Nina. I don't think she's going to come back from that. And if Nina does decide to go through with that, that'll be on her. So it is what it is. Nina and Carly are just both really bad people. Yeah, I agree, Kaiwan. Carly probably going to get arrested at Michael and Willow's wedding. I think so too. Carly never pretends to be a saint. She does own up to her stuff mostly. Yeah, but there's certain things that she will never like own up to just because she doesn't want to think about that. It's like, people don't want to think the worst of themselves. Because realistically, regardless of how Willow felt about Nina, she didn't have the right to play God in that situation. Like, yeah, she knows how Willow felt about Nina, and yeah, Willow said some things that made Carly not want to, but at the end of the day, regardless of that, Carly should have went for that information. Not that she knew about the cancer, and to Carly's credit, the second she found out about the cancer, she ran to Nina. I can't negate that, but she should have never hid that information from Willow in the first place. Hey, Albert. Also support Albert, you guys. Like I mentioned, I don't know if for those of you who tuned in a little bit or a bit later, I was on Albert's live stream earlier today, and it was a lot of fun. I had a blast, and it was nice to finally get to talk to you like face to face. But yeah, welcome, Albert, and thanks for having me on your show today. Angel, you said Nina had to watch the way she treats people. She never should have been rude to Willow in the beginning. Oh yeah, I agree. Nina was nasty. And like, Nina deserves the amount of hate that Willow has for her, and Willow is responding realistically. In terms of like, hey, like just because you're my mom doesn't give you a pass for everything that you did. They need to work to rebuild, and it's Nina that has to put in the work. But it's going to be a long road. The only situation is that right now it appears to seem that it's there's not much time to make up for it. I'm going to mute Michael and Willow's boring ass vows. I don't want to hear that. Valid. But anyway, now I know everyone's waiting with bated breath to talk about this riveting storyline. Chase is a cop again. Shocker. Hopefully we never have to hear Chase's mediocre singing ever again. Brooklyn and Blaze both spoke up for Chase before he got their job back, and apparently that's the last time we'll see Blaze as well. The actress did say her goodbyes on her social media. Brooke is feeling kind of guilty about it, despite, you know, what she wanted to happening, because she did some kind of a favor in advance to get Chase this last chance of the board, which I feel like is probably going to somehow be bad news for Chase in the long run, but we don't know how yet. They're not writing Willow off, right? I don't think so. I don't think Willow's going anywhere, which is why it makes this storyline so irritating. All right. Where else? Oh yeah. Also, another Quartermain news. Ned says ELQ is in danger again because of Valentine's death con, and he wants to boot Valentine out of the company because his death was over-exaggerated. And the men on Wall Street are apparently taking notice and don't want to invest in a company that has these ridiculous shenanigans happening every few months. I've given up on the notion that the Qs will ever successfully pull one over on Valentine, because the show doesn't seem to want to ever allow it. So I'm just... anything ELQ and Valentine related, I'm like, there's no point in watching. I know how it's going to end. Valentine will win, as usual. No more Chase singing. Oh, they're not writing Willow good. Alright, now, okay, where was I? Sorry. Alright, now, moving on. Ever since Sam bailed Cody out of jail, he's kind of been hiding from the Qs, thinking they might fire him. But he does talk to Brooklyn and states that he's been framed. Of course, we know Gladys framed him and has also been in Sasha's ear about him ever since. Sasha actually pays him a visit. You may not have noticed her behind the giant box that she carried into the place for no apparent reason, followed by the larger-than-life purse that she perfectly placed in front of her. Obviously, if you guys follow Sophia Madsen on social media, she announced that she's pregnant with her second kid. Nobody is shocked, given what they've done to hide this pregnancy. And it just gets more ridiculous every day. It's hilarious. But, you know, she's pregnant with her second kid, and that kid is actually due next month. She's already gone through the pregnancy, y'all. She's due next month. Oh, man. They should have never, ever wasted that storyline of Chase being reinstated as a cop. At least they wrapped it up. For now. I know that whatever Brooklyn did is going to come into play later. Let's see. Oh, Angel, you're happy Chase got his job back. Lori said Ned is absolute crap for not talking to Valentine. Like, Anna's literally in the hospital. And Ned's being a sketchy sob. I hope he gets his back on him. Like I said, there's no future I can see where Valentine is not going to be on top, because he always is when it comes to the Qs. I don't know why they even try. Heard that Dante will learn Dex is really working for Michael. That would be an interesting twist. Why isn't Ms. Wu upset Cody makes money? Well, Cody's out of jail, so he's probably still working for her. But if he ends up going to jail after the trial, then there will be hell to pay. Now, that said, Cody actually tells Sasha that Gladys framed him, but falls short on telling her why, which is stupid in my opinion. I'm sure the argument is that Selena may come after him, but If anything, I feel like Gladys has the right to be more worried about Selena trying to have her number one cash con at under the table card games at the Savoy arrested. So, I don't know. Needless to say, because Cody didn't tell her the full truth, Sasha stormed off. Gigantic purse in front of stomach and all, you guys. I'm sorry, I was laughing through that whole episode of the way that they hit that belly because it wasn't even subtle, you know? Oh, it was funny. But yeah, anyway, Sam spent her time while that was happening giving Gladys the third degree at Charlie's, and I'm pretty sure she can tell Gladys definitely framed him by her reaction. The question is, will Gladys do something to stop Sam from pushing? What do you guys think? By the way, at Charlie's, where this all took place, we had an interaction between Christina and Dex as well. Dex was told to bring a document over to Christina, and basically, Sunny gave Christina listings of properties that could be used to shelter homeless youth. Basically, it's a charity Sunny plans on opening in Christina's name, and she wants Christina to be a big part of it as well. And of course, Christina praises Sunny to Dex as a good man and a good father, which leaves Dex feeling a little perplexed. But it doesn't stop him from going forward with the plan to take Sunny down. He calls someone, maybe Michael, saying that the shipment that Pikeman's gonna land is happening tonight. But he doesn't really have much of a choice at this point, right? He either works for Sunny indefinitely or dies when Sunny finds out that he's a narc. So, I don't know. Dex is in a tricky situation. But I'm seeing anvils of, Dante going undercover back in the day. Because he was starting to respect Sunny too. And, when he found out that he was his father, he made sure Sunny didn't go to jail for shooting him. So did Brooke's songs go back to Link when she blabbed? That we'll probably never find out because no one cared about that part of the storyline anyway. Freddie said Gladys is trash. Sasha needs to wake up. She ain't no good at all. I'm sure she's going to find out somehow. Then she's going to have to grovel to Cody after. Yes, Jakarius, you can ask me whatever you want. Angel, you said it hasn't been subtle. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so obvious. It's hilarious. How can he open up? Do you mean Cody? Ruth, congratulations to her. And honestly, I believe that Cody is being friend by that witch Gladys. Laura says, great to catch you all. All right, have a good night, Laura. Good to see you. What is the best character? There's too many. There's a lot of good characters. There's a lot of bad ones too. I can't name them all. I can only tell you that my favorite are the 80s veteran characters. Just because they're so kick-ass cool. What the least part you disliked about this week's episode? Honestly, it's the... Well, actually, I'm going to go into it now because it has to do with... It's more of a rant about what I feel a storyline is going to go in the direction of. And basically, it's about the two medical storylines that we've been introduced to this week. One of them is Gregory's. We learned that he has ALS. There's nothing that they can do about it, obviously. It's a heartbreaking story, one that will probably give... one they're probably giving to the actor that plays Gregory because he's played a character with ALS before, so it's easy work for the writers and easy work for the actor to just pull from his previous work. Kind of lazy writing. Alexis is heartbroken to learn the news, especially because there's literally nothing she can do. And of course, Gregory doesn't want his sons to know just yet because he wants them to live their lives as much as they can because he knows that they're going to be that he's going to be at their mercy not that long from now. I do think when the inevitable happens that all the actors involved will bring their A games to it. It's just lazy in my opinion. But this is what I didn't like this week. Jakarius, only because I feel like I know where this is going to go. The other medical storyline that's happening actually belongs to Molly, and no, she isn't pregnant, not yet anyway. She's trying, but after what should have been a routine checkup ends with Molly finding out that she might have endometriosis, I think it's pronounced. I don't know too much about the condition myself, other than it's kind of like a cancerous tumor down there. But I know we got some medical people in the chat, so if y'all want to like explain it better than I can, go for it. But here's my issue. I don't really have much faith in this story being anything more than fluff that we'll get to see once or twice every couple of months that will eventually get dropped like every other medical storyline that would not necessarily end in a character's death or continue to be shown realistically in the long run. Which disappoints me because in a show called General Hospital, you'd think that the medical stories would be handled with care and that the show would want to educate the audience as much as they can. But considering Willow has been at stage 4 cancer for like months and months, I'm not that hopeful about it. So yeah, I mean, so really my least favorite part of the week is the Willow Michael stuff because them still hanging on the way that they have been is just annoying. And because we know how the storyline is going to end, it just annoys me. And honestly, that in itself is my least favorite part of the week. Just, unrealism in moments where there should be realisticness. Because, like, GH does, deal in both fantasy and reality. Medical stories should be based somewhere in the realm of reality. Especially when it comes to, like, cancer. I've had relatives that died from cancer. So I know how rough it is and how rough it gets towards the end. And it's just disappointing the way that GH treats medical stories. This is like the Dante Lulu storyline when Lulu tried to get pregnant. We don't even see Gregory enough to care that he has ALS. That's true. Yeah, I felt like they gave him like a contract and they didn't know what to do with him after the fact. Just made him like Alexis's reporter partner and then decided to give him a untreatable disease. Hi Dion, besides Victor leaving for May Sweeps, who else do I think is leaving? I mean, we're not gonna. I feel like Holly's probably gonna leave too, and same with Ethan. They're not gonna be around for very long. But I don't know if anyone's gonna get killed off. Besides, Victor might die a death that can be taken back down the road. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, no one that I want to see leave. Angel, you said, I don't know how Molly is surprised she might have it because she would have signs. Abnormal period, sex with TJ would be rough. Like she would seek it out to get answers. See, there we go. It's not being told realistically. You watched an episode of Trapper John, MD, and I said that Gregory Harrison was ripped in his younger days. Oh yeah, you did mention that. I never did end up looking, but I am curious to see what the actor looked like when he was young. But anyway, with that said, that's all my notes that I have on GH this week. Like I did say, I was making this one a little bit shorter. I actually went longer than I wanted to. But I did want to make it short just to kind of relax for the rest of the night and just take my weekend all in. It's been a doozy, you guys. But I'm hanging in there, so it's all good. But yeah, we will be live again on Wednesday. I don't have a game plan yet. We're either going to just check in and see how we feel about the stories that are going on so far, or I might find something to react to. We'll see. Now I got to film my review and stuff. Yeah, get to work. Get to work, Dakaria, so I can watch it. Good night, Brooklyn. But yeah, good night, everyone. We don't need to give him an illness. We may or may not see to get rid of him. Just have him left like Jackie left. True. I mean, hopefully they bring Jackie back for this. They're going to give him such a painful disease to live through. Bring Jackie back. Explain why she left in the first place. But yeah, guys, thanks so much again for watching. If you watched Albert's live stream, thanks for watching that one as well. I had fun on there. And subscribe to Albert, you guys. Seriously. Support all the soap opera reviewers on YouTube because, you know, at the end of the day, they're doing this because they love to do it. Yeah, there's certain ones that get like Patreons and stuff and want to get paid for it, which is fine, to the prerogative. But generally, they all do it because they love the show and they want to talk about it with y'all. And I think everyone does a really great job at kind of sharing their opinions and being respectful towards, you know, the different audiences and the different reactions. And also just the respect that everyone has for each other that does reviews. It's nice to see. So support everyone, okay? But yeah, I will catch you guys this Wednesday. If you liked this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you guys Wednesday. If not, I will see you next Sunday for an all-new General Hospital After Show. Peace out. Mwah.